What's up everybody, it's your boy Duplays here, back with some more GTA 6 reactions for you guys. So today we're on IGN, and the title is GTA 6 doesn't have a disc and locks stores behind Ultimate Edition. Why? I already know why, but let's get into it. Regarding the disc part, that is.
GTA 6 doesn't have a disc and locks shops and missions behind its Ultimate Edition. Why is that? Let's take a look. Remember when physical copies of video games included a disc containing the game on them? Me too. GTA 6 pre-orders are here, and while available on PlayStation and Xbox storefronts in digital form, you can also reserve a physical copy to arrive on its day of release, November 19th. But that box won't actually contain a disc you can slot into your console. Instead, a piece of presumably nice, shiny, colourful paper will be found inside with a code written on it, so you can redeem it on the relevant digital storefront and download it. Over recent years, we've had to get more and more used to the prospect of an all-digital future.
I think a large part of it is the fact that manufacturing, disc version of games, the physical version of the game, costs, because they have to produce the plastic and then the DVD itself, whether it be single layer, double layer. And me personally, I like the convenience of having my library digital. Obviously, if you're on Steam, then everything you play is digital. On my PlayStation 4 Pro, which is beside me, you guys can't see, it's on the entertainment center, but the only physical game I have for that is Grand Theft Auto 5. And that's because it came with the console when I bought it in 2021. If I didn't get it with it, I probably would have had an entirely digital library, which everything else is on any gaming system I own. Whether it be my gaming laptop, my Steam Deck, and the PS4 itself. Everything else. That's the only physical game I have. And obviously on PC, I have it digitally. But anywho,
released a disc drive.
Getting back to the video.
PS5, the Xbox Series S is only download compatible, and it's expected that Microsoft will go all digital for its next generation console, Project Helix. Some big games have already decided to park physical editions to one side to cut costs. Perhaps the most notable of these was Remedy's Alan Wake 2, which before eventually being put on a disc, launched digital only, but for good reason, to keep the price below $70. Rockstar has no such excuse though, with GTA 6's standard edition costing $80 and its Ultimate Edition coming in at $100.
Wait, hold on, let me get a good look at the upgrades. So you get 1 month of GTA Online Plus, Grand Theft Auto 6, obviously the game itself, Vintage Vice City Pack. What does that entail? I'm guessing that has some customization, some skin related stuff, like the skins that we saw in the screenshots. But I was of the impression that that was only available in the Ultimate Edition. Alright, let me just read through it again. So the game, Vintage Vice City Pack, 1 month of GTA Plus, Grand Theft Auto 6. Oh, so the difference here is the Ultimate Edition upgrade, but that doesn't say much. I guess I'll have to, let me go on the website. Or at least, at the very least, let me Google it. What do you get with the Ultimate Edition of GTA? I'm surprised it didn't pop up already, given how popular GTA 6 is. Alright. The Grand Theft Auto 6 Ultimate Edition costs $100 and includes exclusive vehicles. Okay. Customized weapons, which is the skins that we saw, especially the one that looks like Tommy Vercetti's shirt. Specialized in-game businesses / stores and special single-player robbery activities not available in the standard edition. Oh, so they're only putting certain things story mode-wise in the Ultimate Edition. That's a very new practice to me. Special single-player robbery activities not available in the standard edition. So you're telling me there's certain random events in-game I will not be able to play if I buy the standard. So that damn near forces me to get the Ultimate, because I don't want to miss out on any playable content. Alright, let's go back to the video. I don't want to spend too much time on that.
This is about production costs. I think it's about control and secrecy. As for why a boxed edition of GTA 6...
quickly again. The main reason I would think that the game is being released. No, well, not released. Allowing for digital pre-orders and not physical is to prevent leaks. And then I was reading an article and it confirmed that yes, that was the case. Apparently, Rockstar is intending to release the physical edition in December, which should have been a month after the game releases. And I guess around that time is when online would start to kick in. So that makes sense from there, and I get why they're doing that. And, you know, it's fine. It's fine.
I can only presume that's to keep up appearances and fill up those store shelves, while simultaneously holding the power to control resales of the game. You just can't ignore the reach this series has outside of traditional video game circles, and the mass appeal it brings with it. If someone walks into any shop that sells games from November onward, they'll see that iconic multi-panel style of box art and pick it up, with or without the knowledge of the lack of disc sitting inside it. Is that fair? Probably not, but you'd hope the cover at least lets people know that this is the case. This will also mean trade-ins become null and void, meaning anyone who wants to buy the game will have to do so at full price. Don't expect GTA 6 to go on sale anytime soon either. With it set to be the biggest selling piece of media of all time at launch, demand will be there no matter what the price, with Rockstar having no need to make reductions to draw in consumers. By taking away your leverage, you're locked into whatever Rockstar and storefronts believe is a worthy price for you to pay. When the biggest game in the world decides to do this, does that give permission for everyone else to follow suit?
By the way, I'm going all digital. There is the issue of later down the line, years down the line, of course, when you buy a game digitally, you're paying for the license to play that game, and that can be revoked in the future. So there's that concern as well. Whereas with physical, you always have it. And sometimes it might get scratched, it might get broken. If you really take care of your stuff, though, you shouldn't have any issues. I've never owned a game disc where it got scratched up. In fact, my PS3 copy of GTA 5, which I actually gave away to a former co-worker, because he still had a PS3 at the time. That was, and I did as well until it broke, but that was in pristine condition when I gave it to him. You literally just hold the disc by the sides, put your index finger in the circular hole in the middle, and then your thumb to hold the other end of the disc. Why am I even telling you guys how to do this? You should know. And then you insert the disc, and then you remove the disc. Sometimes, because that might be the only game you have physical, you won't even need to remove it, because that's the case for me with PS4 Pro and GTA 5. I don't have any other physical games. I don't see the disc in it. But yeah, I'm going all digital. I don't want to walk into any store, compete with anybody and as a content creator, I would want to have my equipment and setup ready for the day when it drops, and I just go crazy with the content. I'm going insane with it. I know my track record right now isn't great, but I'm gonna try and, lock in, because I really want to get this shit going and start making some moves in this life where it pertains to content creation. But yeah, I'm locking in. I don't even want to see those walkthroughs about GTA 6 when I'm making my videos. The Rad Brad, Jacksepticeye, I'm not paying no attention to that shit, bro. I'm just focusing on what I need to do so I can. They're already up. I need to get myself up. Alright, I'm done with the mini rant.
In regards to other reasons why discs won't exist, GTA 6 has been in development for many, many years now. So you can understand why the developer wouldn't want story spoilers leaking if a retailer were to break street date and copies were to find themselves in the wild prior to most getting their hands on it. Knowing how Jason and Lucia's Vice City story ends would certainly dampen the excitement for some and take something away from the hype cycle that Rockstar curates so carefully around each of its releases.
And then remember, we're probably not getting another game for the next 15 years at least. So, GTA, I mean, but then again, we don't even know how long Red Dead is going to take to make. So that might even really be 15 years for any game, not just GTA. But yeah, it's going to be a decade plus. Yeah,
would make
it's going to be a long time.
Approaching a significant dent in pre-order or sales figures, but all it takes is the wrong info to make it out and get misconstrued ahead of time for all of the conversation around the game to turn a bit sour. Just ask Naughty Dog about The Last of Us Part 2. One thing I do hope pops up in the next few months is some sort of collector's edition though. I'm particularly fond of the Red Dead Redemption 2 collector's box, which is home to all all sorts
Ooh,
of
that's a
goodies.
nice case. I like that.
Talking like this, like I'm on QVC. And there's no reason the news that its physical edition doesn't come with a disc should get in the way of this, as that Red Dead Redemption 2 box didn't actually contain the game either, but was designed purely as an addition to it. Would I love a duffel bag full of Vice City fashion and temporary tattoos? Probably not, but it's also not my job to design the collector's editions. I'd just like one for GTA 6 to at least sweeten the pill of not getting a disc in a box at launch. Let's see if anything gets announced before November rolls around. Now, let's tackle those Ultimate Edition exclusives. Imagine walking around.
Yes, sir. I really would love to hear the details on that, but it looks like he's going on a little mini rant before, so this definitely looks like PS5 footage. The textures look a lot more. That's not the focus debate. Get back on topic.
Closed door beckoning you in, only to be stopped at the door because you don't have the correct membership. That could be what faces you in GTA 6 if you don't choose to buy the Ultimate Edition. Pre-order bonuses and cosmetic gifts are no new thing when it comes to video games, but by the wording here, only open for business with the Ultimate Edition, it seems like certain shops, salons, and tattoo parlors.
Where did you get this screenshot from? Maybe it's on the... I don't remember seeing the Sarah's Unisex Salon. Get signature salon styles for both Jason and Lucia, including facial hair for Jason and makeup and nails for Lucia. Only open for business with the Ultimate Edition. Wow. So there's really in-game features, not even in online, in story mode that we literally will not be able to unlock unless you buy the Ultimate. Yeah, I already was planning on getting the Ultimate. Because when I bought Sparking Zero, I paid for the Ultimate Edition, the 110 USD. That's the most expensive game I've ever bought. So I will pay for this. I was already intending to, but it seems as if I'm forced to now to get all of the content.
Unless you own the more expensive version. So how might this work, and will some players feel like they're being left out if they don't spend these extra dollars? We're used to pre-order and special edition exclusives by now. Indeed, Rockstar is no stranger, having offered a hardened warhorse and even harder in-game cash for Red Dead Redemption 2 to those who purchased the game before launch. But I can't think of another game that stopped you from stepping foot in a building before that's part of its open world. Quite how GTA 6 will handle this.
Yeah, which is why I said earlier in the video that's a very new thing. Like it's literally locking out things in the single, not the online component, because obviously online games have microtransactions and all of that shit. That's the norm. We're used to that shit. But in the single player, that's, I don't want to say insane, but very new.
But there are a couple of obvious ways. Either the doors will be locked and you can't get in, the store could literally be closed for business with no signage or merchandise in the standard edition of the world, or you can walk around these stores' interiors without actually being able to make a purchase. Perhaps a shop assistant will ask you to purchase a membership, which in turn will take you to the PlayStation or Xbox store page for an Ultimate Edition upgrade. However, Rockstar has approached this when it comes to single.
Oh, so it could be a scenario. You know, I never thought about it like that. For some reason, it didn't cross my mind that even if you bought a lesser tier, you could just upgrade to the new one. But then, would they just charge you the remainder of the... Alright, so for example, let's say for a game, the standard edition is $80, and the deluxe, or the ultimate edition, for namesake, is $100. And you pay for the standard, which is $80, like I said. And there's a chance to upgrade to the ultimate. Do they just charge you the remaining 20, or do they just charge you the 110 again? I want to be not optimistic and just say they charge you the full 110, at which point it would have just been more cost effective to have paid for the ultimate edition from day one. But it could be that they just charge you the extra 20. I don't know. I wouldn't subject myself to that. I would just pay for the most expensive tier from the jump. But I wonder, that's something I just had a thought about.
Cosmetics look good, but will this sort of perceived VIP exclusivity affect how Rockstar's new iteration of GTA Online will work? The current GTA Online community is one with a great amount of creativity and sense of humor, but it's also home to a world filled with griefing. The ecosystem is built around player expression and identity.
Yep, a lot of chaos.
With money very much being the fuel that fires it, in both a virtual and physical sense. Therefore,
kind of like real life,
you have access to haircuts, threads, and ink that other players don't will be tempting for those who do. But those who choose to do so may do it at their own risk. In my mind, I can already see hordes of players sitting outside the Ultimate Edition exclusive Stock 305 store, open only for people deemed worthy of entering, waiting for its VIP customers to walk onto the street and into a hail of gunfire, an exploding slab of C4, or perhaps the front end of a muscle car. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and I wouldn't be shocked to see an eat-the-rich mentality permeate through the community. This isn't necessarily a concern of mine, but just more of a prediction. Just know if you're going to put yourself out there, you may get some unwanted attention. But there's another Ultimate Edition bonus that may be more of a concern to fans of the campaign, and the first solid point towards what some of GTA 6's missions may look like. We can all assume and infer from the 2 previous trailers that we'll all be getting involved in the standard Grand Theft Auto mix of car chases, gunfights and bank robberies. But now it seems as if gang compounds are being added to the mix.
I like that. Kind of cyberpunky, but probably a lot more advanced. Kind of like how you have the Voodoo Boys. I don't know any other gang names, but from Cyberpunk, but that's the only one I could think of off the top of my head.
3D era of the series, such as Vice City and San Andreas, where gangs played a huge part in the stories, and taking over properties and
San Andreas especially
maps served as key mechanics. But Standard Edition players seemingly won't get access to one of these missions, suggesting they may well be more like side activities rather than playing a crucial role in the plot. Ultimate Edition players will be tasked with finding a way to raid the PTT Young'uns illegal goods store in Southside Vice City and escape safely to score some special items and distinct contraband. While I fully expected GTA 6 to launch with exclusive cosmetics in some editions, I will say I am slightly surprised to see some gameplay content locked behind this version.
Exactly, because usually Ultimate Edition just gives you more customization stuff like new skins, new weapons. Well, I should say exclusive skins, exclusive weapons. What else? Exclusive skins, exclusive weapons. Maybe some in-game money to start. Maybe some money for online when it does launch. Usually about a month after, just like they did with GTA 5. That type of thing. But to actually lock core game functionality out, like I said in the last 3 times I paused this video to rant about it, I think it was 3 or 4. I believe it's 3. Wasn't expecting that, just like this guy's saying.
Moved on from missions or levels being tied to editions or platforms. GTA 4's The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony being Xbox exclusives for a year jump to mind, as does Red Dead Redemption 2's Rhodes Bank mission being a special edition exclusive. So it's an intriguing move from Rockstar to bring this sort of thing back. Time will tell if this in-game opportunity will be available to all players, but I can't say I'm a huge fan of this sort of thing happening in single-player games. But I'd be lying if I said this had dampened my excitement for GTA 6 by any meaningful amount, and I'm sure these Ultimate Edition bonuses will be enough to tip me into buying that more expensive version. That's the whole point of it, after all. If any game series understands how capitalism works, it's GTA. What do you think? Are you planning on getting the GTA 6 Ultimate Edition for $100 or opting for the cheap $80 Standard Edition? Has this extra content pushed
We're doing this next, by the way.
More expensive version? Let me
probably
know
not today.
in the comments. And for everything else GTA 6, check out all the new details we picked from the new screenshots and the cover art.
All right, yes sir. Alright, that was it. That was my reaction to GTA 6 doesn't have a disc version and it's locked stores behind Ultimate Edition. Alright, so the fact that we haven't seen gameplay yet is insane. Trailer 3 is right around the corner, I can feel it. Rockstar Games has entered its villain phase. Let's see what these replies are. Nope, they are top devs exercising their earned practices on how they want to release the game. None of the original Rockstar team are still at Rockstar. Yeah, we know this. Because there are no enforcement mechanisms to stop predatory business practices anymore. The only way to stop these predatory tactics is by speaking with your wallet. It's GTA. We're not going to do that. It's GTA, bro. If there's one game that's not gonna... people are gonna buy. Alright. Releasing a plastic box is simply just waste at this point. That's how I feel. And even if you are gonna do it, with a code only option? Why not make it smaller? And I made this statement a couple months back, and then I remembered, or at least it was brought to my attention, hey, if you make the case smaller, then it won't be as visible on storefront shelves, and if it's not visible, the advertising isn't really working as well as it should. But it is really a waste of plastic, and I hate to see it, especially with the Switch 2 cases, when you open it and it's just like, even with the physical ones, the cartridges are so small, it's a waste of so much plastic. Alright, the gaming industry is in full pivot now as of GTA 6. Us physical copy guys knew it was coming. RIP. I'm not buying anything until I see the gameplay trailer. Real. It's not about the money. I'd happily cough up $80 for the game of the next 2 decades. I said 15, but it could very much stretch to 20. It's downright tyrannical to demand money for something we have no clue about, and this type of shit shouldn't be normalized. Yeah, we do need to see that gameplay trailer, bro. No disc, no purchase. No PC release, no purchase, bro. I have to get this. As fast, even if I wasn't a content creator, I definitely wouldn't. No, I definitely would still want to be in the loop on this on day one. They spent $1 billion on development to make $10 billion. That's why. Likely between $750 million to $1 billion, if we're being honest. $2 billion on straight production seems disingenuous. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop reading the comments now because I'm gonna go on too long if I do. That was my reaction to GTA 6 not having a physical version and the Ultimate Edition perks. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. Follow my socials, TikTok, Instagram, and Discord. They're in the description. And with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Goodbye.